You are listening to Letitia Cook at WomenUP Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Women Framing Their Future. This is the specialist series that Ruth Sacks of Principal Consultant of Boardroom Focus and me, Letitia Cook, are doing to try and help people, particularly women, really understand where they want to go, what they want to do, and how to embrace this new idea, new experience, new ways of working. So today we're going to talk about reviewing your career, because a lot of people have returned to work quite dissatisfied and looking to change maybe jobs or roles or sectors. And I think many of us feel really destabilized isn't maybe the correct word, but it's brought up questions that we're now thinking, do we really want to do this? Are we doing something right? Are there other opportunities? So it's really made us aware that there are different things around in the world. So what do you think, Ruth? Because I know you're definitely a specialist on helping women changing jobs and sectors and leadership and things like that. So with the situation that we're in now, and with hybrid working and all of the changes, all the different responsibilities, how can we review our careers from a more powerful base? And should we give our values and interests more weight in these decisions, or should we stay in the more traditional role of, ambition going up the ladder? What do you think? Because it's brought up so many possibilities.
Well, you've asked me lots of questions.
Sorry, which would you like to start with?
Yeah, well, if I miss anything out, you come back and prompt me. Let me see how much I can respond to. I think the first thing to do is we've all had time to reflect on the work that we're doing, how it works, whether we like the commute, all these different sorts of things, the environments, the industries. If you're looking to, or you're thinking about changing, then consider, first of all, what you like about what you do.
Yep.
What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What is it that really gives you a bounce in your step and a smile on your face? Because those are the things you will want to carry on with and continue and improve.
Yep.
Then you need to think about, okay, so what's important to me? Is it the industry? Is it that I'm giving back? Is it that I'm moving into a leadership position? What are the things that are really important that I want to keep?
Yep.
The next thing that I would think about, well, I'll just go back a second. Within that, there are your values.
Yep.
So am I happy with the way my organization is working, with the clients that it has? Does it fit with my moral code?
Yes.
Do I think that everybody is working from a position of integrity and trust? Or has this being at home and being slightly more relaxed, less formal, has enabled me to see chinks in the armor that are making me a little bit uneasy, which is part of the reason why I want to move on? And those are questions you have to ask yourself. You might not want to talk to other people about them, but you have to consider them if that's something that's bothering you, because you would be looking for that not to be the case if you moved on.
Yeah.
What I also think you then need to consider is, what am I really good at in my job? What are my skills? What's my expertise? What's my competence? And can I use those in different contexts? So what do I know how to do that I could do in other areas? So if you're really good at project management, that may take you across all sorts of different areas of business. That means you don't have to continue down the same path if that's what you want.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that has come very much out of the last 18 months or so is that people are beginning to identify that they have other skills. They have more
Yep.
resilience. They're able to chop and change. Yes, I can go into work. Yes, I'm very good at working from home. My communication skills are such that I do keep in touch with everybody wherever they are. And I can manage, I've learned through trial and error or whatever it is to manage all this online meeting stuff and getting the communications right and facilitating groups, all these things which nobody ever thought about before.
Yeah.
So it's looking at what you're good at, what your strengths are, what you really want to keep.
Yeah.
And looking to see what fits all of those things, and opening your eyes and looking wider than the environment in which you currently are. Because one of the things that I think has come out of this is a better understanding of the breadth of expertise that's out there.
Yes.
There are lots and lots of different roles out there. Everybody's talking about moving on or shifting or whatever. So it's not necessarily just looking down the tunnel of, well, this is what I do, and therefore I'm only going to look in this particular area of professional services or construction or engineering or technology. But what have you got that you can take into a different environment that may give you something else? We've known for a long time that, careers for life aren't necessarily a reality for absolutely everybody. Particularly younger people are looking to stay somewhere 3 years, 4 years maybe, and move on. They're moving on because they want different expertise, because they've got an idea of where they want to get to, and they're building the breadth and depth of their experience through working in different organizations in different places. I think one of the opportunities that the pandemic has brought is that you can work in any part of the world. You don't actually have to be in the office. And I think that's fantastic. I'm really jealous, actually.
I know.
But not everybody wants that. So, but it's your job and it's your role, and you have to think about, okay, these are the things that I would like. If you're seriously thinking about leaving where you are and moving on to somewhere else, you also need to think about, what am I giving up?
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
So what would I lose if I move away from this organization, this team, this group?
Yep.
So would you lose a network? Would you lose, I don't know, an area of responsibility that you really like, the flexibility of how you work because you've been there a while? What is it that you would lose that you might regret?
Yeah. So if we do, well, if someone takes the decision and they decide, I've discovered I'm really interested in doing X, Y, or Z, which is quite different to their previous job, how can they then present themselves powerfully to move into the new job? Because, I mean, do you think that people are more open to that now because of the pandemic and because of the whole difference? Are people more open-minded, or are they in fact more closed because they're like, protect what we've got? Because I've always moved, I've always changed jobs, I've always been completely different. The French say that I'm instable, I'm not stable, because I go so dramatically different. But to me, that's what happened when I was young. People moved, you like the experience of very different things. But if someone wants to really go to an interview, go to a whatever job creation, a new role, something like that, if it's out of their usual sector or out of their traditional CV list of experience, how can they overcome the initial hesitation of the interviewer or the new company to give much more weight to themselves and their experience? Because I think that's something that worries people. They might be really passionate about the idea of changing, but they're like, how am I going to be seen? Are they going to believe me, or are they going to think I'm crazy?
Okay, I think you actually have to take a step back before you think about the interview, and you have to look at what the recruitment process is.
Yep.
Because now a lot of the initial recruitment sifting is done by a computer.
Right. I'm so old-fashioned.
If you apply online, it's very likely that the initial sifting process, not always, but sometimes, may be done through algorithms. Whether it is or it isn't, how you initially apply for the role is really important. So there will be a person specification and they will say, these are the people that we're looking for with these skills. So that's what you tell your potential future employer. I've got these skills.
Yep.
These are my successes in these areas.
Yep.
And your power is behind the fact that you can demonstrate you're good at decision making. Yep. You're excellent at managing budgets. If you can manage a budget in a cosmetic agency, you can manage a budget in a finance company. The same skill and the same software is probably used by everybody. And if it isn't, you're learning a piece of software. You're not learning to say, yes, you can spend that money on a project, or no, you can't. So the first stage is to be able to, for you, and it's your job to do that as part of your application process, is to say how you fit the needs of the new organisation and to be really clear about your successes. So if they're looking for people who can manage large teams, that's what you talk about.
Yep.
You talk about the fact that you've managed large teams in different areas, you know, online and face-to-face, whatever it is. But if you don't tell your potential future employer that that's what you've done, they won't know. First of all, they haven't got the time to find out, because you've got to get through that first sifting process, whether it's a computer or whether it's an HR person.
Yep.
And you've got to be able to recognize within yourself that you have those skills, and therefore you have to say them.
Yes.
You know, nobody recruits on extrasensory perception. It doesn't work like that.
Shame.
I know. We'd all like that, particularly women. No, you have to say, I can do this. I've done it in these different environments. These are my successes. Your power is in the assertive statements you put on your application form.
Yeah. Okay. And another question linked vaguely to that. When we decide that we want to do something different, when it's very different, normally we speak to family and friends and colleagues, depending on how good our relationship is at work and whether people can keep their mouths shut. If everybody looks at you, says, oh my God, you're absolutely crazy, you mustn't do that because it's really dramatic, blah, 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 whatever. How do we keep our own confidence and continue down the route we've decided we want to go when we've got our more traditional or conservative family, friends, blah, 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 looking at it as being a really rash decision?
Well, the first thing I'd say is don't talk to your really conservative family friends.
Excellent, yeah.
If they're friends, you know who they are and you know what their response will be. So I'd move that on.
Good point.
The second thing I would do is I would write yourself an elevator speech. So why am I the right person for this? I'm the right person for this role because I can do X, Y, and Z. I've done it in other circumstances. I'm passionate about this. I've done lots of research. I've followed it through with courses or whatever it happens to be, so that you can justify the reasons for your career shift or your career change.
Yes.
That's part for you. There's always going to be people who are telling you, you'll not make it. It's too hard out there. Look at all the people who failed.
Yeah.
But that depends what you mean by failure.
Yes.
Anyway, it could be a mistake and you learn from it and you move on.
Yeah.
If it's something you really want to do, you will do it.
Yep.
And if you don't try, you're going to live with that feeling of, I wish I had.
Exactly.
I wish I'd done it.
Yep. Yeah.
And hindsight can be a really positive thing. It can also be something where you go, I should have taken that decision.
Yep.
I should have taken that job, even if only for a year. It wouldn't have killed me, and I could have done this, that, and the other. And I'm sure there are many of us who have instances that we can reflect back on and say, wish I'd done that.
Yeah.
But for those people who haven't yet, who want to move forward, then go for it.
Yeah.
There's also that question which sometimes provokes dread, and sometimes is all right, which is, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, exactly.
If it's finance, then build yourself a buffer before you take the leap.
Yep.
Sort out what loans are available, what's the business support's available, and do it.
Yep.
And if you don't believe in yourself, then your future clients and organisation won't believe in you either.
Yep.
So you have to know that you can do this.
So a quick checklist, if we're deciding we're going to review our career and move on, etc. Have you got a quick checklist of what we could put on it just to be sure or to be prepared?
Okay, let's try.
Put you under pressure.
What are you good at?
Yep.
What do you really want from a future role? Where are your strengths? How can you transfer your skills and expertise to other environments? And the answer to that is always yes. It's just about how you write it down. Yep. Be clear about your success and recognize that you might not get it right the first time, but that's just learning.
Yeah.
We only learn by not getting it right. If you always get it right, you don't learn. You
don't grow. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to take the plunge, go for it. But have the foundations there that you are strong foundations that you can build on and increase as you go forward. And every experience is another bit to build on.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. I think that is a perfect ending to this discussion.
Well, I'm not sure about perfect, but it's not.
Okay, it's a very good one. Okay. Thanks, Ruth. It's been great speaking about this, and we'll speak again in a month. So bye, everybody. And don't hesitate. Any questions you've got about anything, you'll find both mine and Ruth's details. So don't hesitate. I can't speak today. Don't hesitate to contact either of us. We're very happy to give you more help, and also have a look on our websites just to see if there's any other information that you might find useful. Okay, Ruth, see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.